For some reason, it's not letting me.
It's not live yet.
I understand, but I should still be able to at least get to your page.
It's just Blamegirl.
I know what it is.
We are live, and guys, today we are shooting on YouTube because I am in Austin. I'm about to do Kill Tony, like we talked about last week. But we are back. It's the Blamegirl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne.
We got Jordan Garnett in the house finally. Hey, Jordan.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, make smile, Jordan.
Only took 2 years.
Nah, I'm happy. I'm really happy.
So, guys, how are y'all doing over there in Florida? How was y'all's weekend?
I had a very productive weekend.
I was all right. Sorry, Terry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want to.
No, please, you. I had a little bit of a fever, but now I'm all right, and I'm just hanging out. You know what I mean? I've been door dashing because that's what all famous comedians do. So I'm just door dashing and enjoying my last couple of days in Florida. So it was cool. It's been cool.
You just stacking.
I have to. I'm not gonna have any furniture. I think I'm gonna be sleeping on air mattress for the first 3 months, which is all right.
That's fine. You got to do what you got to do to relocate. Where in Michigan are you going? I was talking to my sister. My sister's here with me. I won't put her on camera because I know she'll.
Oh, let me see her.
Okay.
Hey, baby.
No, I knew. I shouldn't have put her on. I've got inappropriate people.
Not inappropriate. She's beautiful.
Okay. Anyway, Terry, did you do anything productive worth mentioning this weekend?
I did. The herb garden is back, and not only is it back, it's back with a vengeance. I set up an automatic watering system, so I never have to do anything again. I just get
for your herb garden.
Yeah, I just What?
What herbs are you growing?
Italian parsley, basil, thyme, rosemary, and hot peppers.
Okay. What kind of hot peppers? You like doing that ghost shit, like ghost pepper?
Oh no. Just red spicy peppers.
All right.
Because just for the cooking thing, it helps a lot.
All right. Well, my weekend was great. I spent
nobody cares.
Nobody asked. You asked us, so we really don't. Nobody really gave a shit.
He gets it.
Nobody really gives a shit. You're already doing this podcast half-ass from a restaurant. You just got done with your tacos. You're with your sister. You can barely hear the audio. So we don't give a fuck what you did this weekend. So can we move on with the interview?
Let me say something. You flaked on me the last time I had you on, so don't give me.
No, I have to be respectful. Yeah. I know. For once, you actually can. For once, you actually can be the blame girl. You can blame it on me. I have canceled on my poor sweet Gio maybe about like 3 or 4 times, and like made up so many elaborate stories. I told her like dead fucking relative have passed away that have been dead for years and all that stuff. So I'm here. I made it. I don't give a shit. They're dead anyways. So I'm here.
As recently as Friday, making excuses?
Nah, seriously, I'm not going to do that to Treese. I hope that was awesome. My mom's actually, we think she has COVID. We're pretty much sure she has COVID. I'm not trying to put that out there, but I had a low-grade fever, and Treese, is battling. I don't know if she wants that out there, but she's battling whatever she's battling. And I'm not going to do that to poor Treese. So, see, you got me all like, you got me redder than I usually am. Jesus, come on. You got me all embarrassed.
All right. So, yes, my weekend, y'all shouldn't have came for me. Okay. But my weekend, I spent Saturday driving here. Friday night, I had that show at Swampgrass with Treese, with Jackie, with Chris Rowe and Dom Nessie. That was a lot of fun, and I needed it because I kind of a rough week doing comedy last week, like at some of the open mics. So, and then Saturday I drove to Texas the whole day. I got to catch up with a friend Saturday night in Houston, and then Sunday my grandmother turned 90. I went to her birthday party.
Wow.
And then last night I did mics here in Austin. I did San Jack, which was interesting. It was like an earlier mic, but it seemed like it was a lot of comics. But there were a few like people that were crowd members that were there. And then I went to the Creek in the Cave, which I'd done before, and I think I've talked about on this podcast. But I got to go up there, which was a lucky. And I ran into Tim, who have both been on the show. And
Matt Bellick? Do you run into Bellick?
Yeah, Matt Bellick. And JT Stockton, who has also been on the show. I'm having a good time networking, and tonight I'm getting ready to, I'm going to sign up for Kill Tony. So hopefully I'll get selected to go up. So with that said, Terry's going to be leading the charge because I'm going to be moving around here in a minute because I got to go get signed up, but I'll be right here listening and watching. Terry.
And judging. And judging. Yeah. The inmates are taking over the asylum this week because normally it's Gio that keeps us on track and I'm the Mad Hatter, but nope.
She's too busy signing up. What a professional.
Well, you know, I think it's nice she's trying to do Kill Tony. That's a tough gig.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've heard nothing but good about it, though. So hopefully Gio gets on. I don't know how that works, but
it's 1 minute, kill it or die.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That's all you got. You literally have 60 seconds to go up there.
Yep. You got 60 seconds in front of people that have no qualms whatsoever about crushing your spirit if you fail.
You have 60. That's all you have is 60 seconds on stage, right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Gee, good luck, baby. That's not. I don't know.
All right, Terry, who are we blaming first? You lead the way.
Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio said in an interview this week that the bill that's coming to the Senate, if he has to vote on it, he's going to vote no on cementing gay marriage rights, and meaning that passing a law to where the Supreme Court can't overturn it when they come back into session later this year. Are we moving back? Are we moving backwards on civil liberties and gay, lesbian, trans rights? Are we moving backwards on this? Who's to blame?
I guess Mark Rubio.
Well, he's one of them. We can't hear you, Gio. You got to get closer.
Yeah, get the straw out of your mouth, girl.
That was a very thoughtful response. Thank you, Jordan.
But no, it's Mark Rubio. But like, I think that's messed up, man. If you want to marry another dude, then just marry another guy. Like my brother's gay. Like I don't give a shit. Like good for them. They're like happy. They're so happy. Like my brother.
Yeah, I don't know why they want to mess it up with marriage, but if you want to, go for it. You know.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. They own their own apartment. They do all this stuff, and like, go for it, dude. Like I don't know. I have no problem with that. If they want to get married, let them get married. Who gives a shit?
Jordan brings up a good point. Not only does Jordan not care, but the majority of Americans don't care either. So why is it that a fringe portion of right-wing conservatives, why do they still care? Because in the latest poll, 77% of Americans think that marriage equality should be cemented as a law.
It's just an identity politic issue that they can push for votes. It's capitalism. They can capitalize.
But at best, you're only
pushing that idea. That's all.
But at best, you're only looking at 23% of the population. You know, personally, I think it's because they know that 23% of the population believes what they believe so fervently that they will go out and vote for whoever sides with them, regardless.
Well, it's so funny though. You know what I mean? I guess I'm still like, I would be considered a millennial. I'm 30. So I am a millennial, even though I look a lot older just because I drink and I stay out in the sun a lot. But I feel like Alabama, I saw something on TikTok where they're interviewing people in Alabama and they were asking them if it's okay to fuck like a first. Can I curse on here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So they were asking them if it was like okay to fuck like a second cousin or even a first cousin. And it wasn't made up like some of these YouTube people. That's why I stopped doing YouTube with like pranks and stuff, because a lot of this is put on, but this wasn't put on. And a lot of these, like whatever you want to call them, rednecks or whatever, Alabamians or whatever they were just like, oh yeah. If it's in, you keep it in the family. So like, if people can fuck their own cousins and shit, why can't two guys just fuck each other? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, if two cousins are banging in Alabama, and it doesn't bother me that my brother is getting, bottomed out by his boyfriend. Like, it doesn't bother. It doesn't bother.
Well, I don't think they're trying to go that far with it to where they're against gay sex. It's just gay marriage they're going after. And the majority of people that I talk to in a serious way about gay marriages, they say, oh, it's an institution, it's sanctioned by God and it's not supposed to be like that. Okay, well, even if that's true, which I don't agree with, but let's play devil's advocate and say that it's true. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure the Bible says to let God judge people and not you. So, exactly. Yeah, so if they want to get gay married, fine. If you think it's a sin, fine. Let the maker make the choices, and you just mind your own goddamn business.
Exactly. And it was so funny how you brought up God and the Bible, and then you use goddamn in the same sentence. But,
well, I've earned my rights on this one.
Terry, like, I'm not even picking it. Like, I came from a religious background, and I know your dad's like a pastor, like somewhat of a famous pastor or something like that.
All my life. Yeah.
So, man, I grew up like Christianity, blah, blah, blah. And I still believe in God. I do. But like, I'm going to sound so weird and spiritual, like a little weirdo, but I have my own like relationship with God. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I've read the Bible. I've done all that. How foul I not, whatever. But I have no problem with it. And we have no reason as human beings to judge, like you said. And that's going to be like when you get to the pearly gates. Hey, all right. So if there's a sign that said, hey, two guys can't get married, you have to go to hell, then they're going to have to deal with that. But I don't think that's how it works.
And again, being a pastor's son for the last 41 years, I've earned a few things. I've read the Bible more than twice, cover to cover, which is a long read, by the way, because you got to read it multiple times to actually be able to understand. But it's not even that. It's just, I don't have a problem with people that believe in religion. I don't have a problem with religion. I don't even know where I stand on it. If people ask me, do I believe if God exists? I always say the same thing. I hope he does. I'm not going to be so arrogant to say that I know. I'd be like, yeah, I hope God exists. I hope it all means something. That doesn't mean it does, but it's hope. Hope can change. Hope is an idea, and ideas can always change. But beliefs are much harder to change.
That's one thing I will disagree with. Like, I believe no matter what, I believe God like exists. Like, there's no way. Like, I don't care about Stephen Hawking and his fucking stupid wheelchair and all that shit. Now I'm getting really offensive, but and science and stuff. But the Big Bang, all this shit. There's got to be a bigger being up there, and his name might not be called God, but he's our God. So I believe in that kind of sense. But sure. as for gays, go for it. Who cares? Let them get married. That's fine. Like, dude, I might switch fucking teams. I can't find I haven't been laid in 2 years. I get gay guys that hit on hard. No, I'm joking.
That's rough.
No, I'm joking on that one.
It's a rough day.
Gio must be slamming a taco down her throat or signing up. But yeah, man, I feel like you shouldn't be able to tell somebody what they can do. You know what I mean? It's America. We're supposed to be the land of the free. So if two dudes want to get married, and as long as they're happy, don't you want everybody happy in your country? So
I don't think so. I think there's about 20% of this country that doesn't give a shit whether anybody's happy, just as long as they're doing it their way.
People are horrible fucking people. You know that.
Right.
So,
but they want everybody to do it their way. And with that, let's talk about Josh Hawley, who also wants to do it his way.
I don't even know who that is. I don't keep up with politics. I hate politics.
Josh.
Tell Jordan what happened. Explain to him what happened.
Josh Hawley, you probably remember from the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. He's the member of Congress that went out and he's the younger guy that went out and put his fist up in the air to all the people that were protesting outside and like in solidarity. He's like, yeah, do that thing. Except when they stormed the building. And then he ran away like a frightened little rabbit. And he ran to the protection of the Secret Service, and he ran with the other officials to get cover. So who's to blame for that, Gio?
Well, he shouldn't have been there anyways. I think that's like,
no,
to
he
be
should
honest,
have been there. It was actually his duty to be there. He was supposed to be there.
Was he there as a protester or what?
No. He just gave them a sign of solidarity as he walked in, because he was there to witness the electoral votes being turned over so that Biden could be declared president.
He was pandering. That's what it was.
He was what?
Pandering.
Of course he was pandering.
I thought she said pandering. Yeah. I thought you said Mandarin, like a Mandarin orange.
No, he was pandering to that base. He was just trying to show that, like, hey, I'm one of you guys. He's not one of you guys.
And then he just ratted. So who to blame for? He's himself to blame, I guess. I don't think that whole charging the Capitol thing was right. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The first time Trump went up against Hillary, I voted for Trump. I'm not going to lie. I voted for Trump. And the second time I didn't vote at all, because I was like, well, I vote. Yeah, I can vote. I've never been arrested. I live at my grandma's house. I don't do much. I don't do anything. I don't even do open mics. You guys know that. I don't do anything. So yeah, I did vote, and I voted for Trump. And then the second time around, it was like the evil between the two. Like Biden, Trump were fucked either way. So I was like, I don't even care. I don't want to vote on this because I don't care. Like, I know I should care about politics, but like at this point, like I feel like we don't even have control, no matter who's in office. So,
you got a point on that one, but.
Well, I do have a major point. There's one girl in office, or what's her name? She's a Democrat. I love her. I like literally love her. Not for
Andrea.
Oh, you already know
Cortez.
her, just like me. Oh my God. I would do anything. I will believe.
That's just because she's young and hot. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's I serious. Whatever she wants me to believe in, I will agree with. I'll do whatever. I'll just stay in the background. I'll be like Oprah's husband. I'll just keep my mouth fucking shut, do whatever she wants me to do. I love her. Can we talk more about her? Because she's gorgeous. I don't care about her. Oh my, I'm such a creep. I looked up her cup size on Google. She's
That's nice.
34 double D, and I think she weighs like 106 pounds. She is gorgeous, and if she ever runs for president, she has my vote.
You may not want to choose your leaders based on that, but you know what? Whatever gets it done, because I do believe in her stances and her politics. She's what they call a progressive, which means progressives generally, just to boil it down, they generally believe that everybody should have the same rights regardless of how much money you have. And
well, at this point, I agree with her because I would like to have the most. I'm moving.
I would
to
hope
Michigan.
so, because you ain't got no money.
I'm moving to Michigan with $12 in my pocket. So yes, I'm right with her. So,
well, Michigan is a swing state, so you better start paying attention to it.
I will tell you guys this.
Because now you got a responsibility.
And I hate when people get so mad at me. Because my brother, I don't know, G, you still there?
Yeah, she's flipping in and out, but go ahead.
Flipping out. So
transitioning between spaces, so I took my video off.
Oh, all right. So I thought that was your sister. No, I wanted to talk to your sister, but she turned her sound on. I'll tell you this, man. I don't know if I'll ever vote again. I really don't. I don't like getting involved with it. It's just like too much around this house. Like I live with my grandmother. So like my grandma's very right wing. My brother's very left wing. So I hear both sides of it. And they both have great views. You know what I mean? But I'm like in between. So if you wanted to call me anything, it's like an independent. And it's like what I said before, like with the whole God thing, like I have my own relationship with God. And then like politics, I have my own relationship with politics. But as in voting, like unless there's a candidate that I'm absolutely, and I was joking about like the Cortez woman, no, like I wouldn't just vote for her because she has huge boobies. But if there is somebody that I really has like strong points that I agree with, I will vote with. But if there's like I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils. That's why I stayed out of this last election. I was just like, it's not worth it. And they're like, oh, every vote matters. And I'm like, you know what? Like, it's good for you guys, but I'm not doing that. Like, I hate politics. I can tell you that. It's not in any of my jokes. It's not in any of my stuff. But I do think there's a lot of fucked up shit in the world.
Well, I don't believe in doing political humor on stage either. I don't think I've ever. I think I told one Trump joke right at the beginning.
Political humor on stage. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
You have an abortion joke. You do political humor on stage.
Okay, abortion has nothing to do with politics. First of all, second of all, I mean, yeah, people make it a political issue. Second of all, that's a joke about Iggy Azalea, not about abortion.
Well, I'll even tell you this here to put a point in, like. Gio, when she posts all her political like stuff on Instagram, like I love that she does that. No, listen, it's a compliment to you, Gio. Like when she does that, I'm like, wow, this girl is passionate about something. Like that means she truly believes in this. She loves it. She's passionate about it. My brother does the same thing. It's all gay rights. It's everybody, you know, Black Lives Matters, and I believe in that. So yes, so like. If you're going to stand for something, stand for it 100%. So like the people that do that, I have like no hate towards them at all or no dissing them or anything. Like stand up for it. Like, hell yeah. If you believe in it, fight for it. But I'm just not that guy. Like I'm just like that in between guy. And I just don't like politics. I really don't. Well, maybe I'm not smart enough. Sides. Maybe I'm not educated. And like I said, I've been on both sides too. But politics is something I really don't like to get involved with ever. I really just don't like it. It's just not my thing.
And that's fine. Look, I've been on both sides of it, and I've caught shit from both sides. And frankly, I've caught more shit from the left than I have from the right. But in this day and age, I'll still probably lean more left than I do right, just because it's the same reason why I left the Republican Party. I left the Republican Party because I smelled the crazy coming back in like 2009 during the birther movement, during that whole thing of like, oh, Obama was born in Kenya and he's a secret Muslim operative.
Oh, that was that was complete bullshit. I never believed
I smelled that crazy coming. I was like, nope, I changed. I re-registered as an independent after that. Just because I don't want affiliation with that kind of crazy. The way I look at it, the boiled down point is if you want to move forward, if you want to be more progressive and move forward, then you lean left. If you want to be regressive and move backwards, then you lean towards the right. And there's nothing wrong with either one if that's what you believe. But there truly are people on the right, people that I have known in my life that do want to go back to the 50s. You know what I mean? They like women in the kitchen. They like women in the kitchen. They like gays in the closet, and they like blacks in the field. That's what they like.
Well, my grandma just showed up with groceries, so if you guys want to hop her on the podcast, I can get her on. So that's another person.
No, I think we can skip it. I got enough right wingers in my life.
But like I said, you know what? And it's like, I don't know if you saw the last Bill Burr special live at Red Rock. It's like, you're never going to fix this stuff. You're never, ever going to fix this. It's always going to be just two sides.
That's a very nihilist point of view. I don't think that's true at all, because
I think it is.
There's been a lot of other first world countries that have figured out ways to be progressive, but not insane, you know? Like, I agree with some points on the left, but I also agree that they get way out of hand, you know? It's like one day it's like, yeah, it's fine to be openly gay. And then the next day it's like, yeah, it's fine to be married if you're gay. And then next day, yeah, it's fine to be trans. And then the next day, it's like, no, if you don't call me by the right pronoun, you're done. You know.
Well, I can put it in this sense, like a Bill Burr joke too, though. So there's a comic out there that I'm very close with, and here's a perfect opinion how it's just weird how the world has changed. So, and Bill Burr has a joke like this as well. But if one of my friends call me, I will answer the phone and I'll say, and I have a gay brother, you have to remember that. I'll answer the phone, I'll go, "What's up, faggot?" Or I'll say, "Hey, fag," something like that. I had a comic, he's not gay, but just did not like that, didn't appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. So that's my guy way, you know, and is it wrong? Yeah, I got to lose that word out of my vocabulary. Absolutely.
I still say it on stage, but
so
it's a story and it's integral.
Yeah. But I called this comic after a good show that we had, and I hugged him on stage and I said, "I just want to let you know I love you so much, fag. Thank you for this." But he took it in the other way. So nowadays you have to watch what you say. You really do. So that's where I'm saying where sometimes it gets too crazy left. Same, you know, like my brother to this day, he hates that word. Like, I know that I would never call him that word. But like somebody, like, I know this person is not in the closet for sure. Well, you never know, whatever, you know, people have going on, but you have to watch what you say nowadays. You definitely do. But that's where I just feel like freedom of speech is getting taken away too. And then like, I feel like they're taking it out on comedians, man, too. Like, well,
it's a fine line to walk, because you're talking about freedom of speech, but to other people, you're talking about hate speech. And I think that's where context comes in more than anything else.
Exactly where it's coming from. You know what I mean? It's not like when I hugged this comic, I gave him a kiss on the cheek, and like in a brotherly way, I look up to this guy. I go, "Hey, I love you, fag. Thank you so much for this." Wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was like a brotherly, big time thing. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? He's out with his, you know, boyfriend or whatever. I'm like, "Oh, fag, get out of my town." It wasn't like that. So
yeah, exactly.
It's different. It's very different.
But I also get the other side of it, where it's like you grow up listening to that word being used in a negative way towards you so much that even if somebody that's close to you, like in your situation, even somebody that's just using it in a jovial way to somebody that's close to you, it still brings up all that other negative shit in your memory. So, I mean, is there a correct answer here? I don't think there is. I really don't. I think it's just based on the person, based on your relationship with them, based on the context. And just know that if you're going to cross that line, you might have a price to pay for it. Speaking of prices to pay, Steve Bannon is convicted of, I know. He was the chief strategist for the Trump White House and the Trump campaign. Steve Bannon is been convicted by a federal jury of contempt of Congress, because he basically just they subpoenaed him for the January 6 hearings, and he just said, you know, fuck you, and he never showed up. So who's to blame?
I don't know. I don't know.
Gio, you're gonna have to step in here.
Yeah, because I have no idea. I don't like politics. I'm just like, I don't know. We can move forward.
Unfortunately, that was the big stories of the week. So
I couldn't tell you about that, man. Like, I think, like I said, both sides. You can go both sides.
No, not with this one. Not with this one. You can't. Gio.
No, she's too busy. Now she's signing up, or maybe she's finishing her tacos. Gio, we're talking about
Steve Bannon's convicted of contempt of Congress. Who's to blame?
I think that.
You know who Steve Bannon is?
Yeah, no, I know who Steve Bannon is.
No, I'm talking to my grandma. Who's Steve Bannon? Steve Bannon, you know who he is? Isn't he like the front man for like Motley Crue or something?
You talking to Nanny?
Yeah. Nanny, who's Steve Bannon for the Trump administration? Who is it?
Bannon is to blame.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he was in the Trump.
Yeah, he got in trouble. Who is he to blame? Who's to blame? Is it him? She said they always blame Steve Bannon. I don't know.
Well, look, the way you get a subpoena and you don't show up for court, you're gonna get in trouble.
He has a ticket.
Oh, he had a subpoena and he didn't show up to court. Yeah, you can't be doing that. Then he's to blame. You get a subpoena, you got to go to court. Except jury duty. You know, every time I've gotten jury duty, I just throw it out.
Well, the jury duty is different because they can't prove that you received that notice. So that's basically
exactly. I learned that.
That's the
it got lost
system.
in the mail. Yeah. Awesome.
That's the honor system. But subpoenas, when you get subpoenas, you got to show up. Because if I don't show up to court when I get a subpoena, I'm in trouble. If you don't show up, you're in trouble. If Gio don't show up, she's in trouble. Just because you're rich and
end of the day, Steve Bannon's to blame. Well, what is he getting subpoena for? What did he do?
No, he was subpoenaed to testify. Be a witness.
Ah, shit. Yeah. A witness to what?
The January 6 hearings that are going on.
I don't agree with that. I can tell you that. I totally don't agree with that. I told my grandma that should have never happened.
Okay.
And I think that was encouraged too. I don't believe in that. I thought that was wrong.
I believe it was encouraged.
Absolutely. I don't agree with that. That's why I stood out of the last election. But yeah, I don't think that should have ever happened. Our US Capitol should have never been taken over. But like I said, with my grandma sitting here and she'll get mad as hell with me, but I don't stand with the party. I think Biden's doing a shit ass job though.
Agreed.
But my grandma's sitting here saying I don't think it was Trump's fault. I do think Trump enticed that riot. Yes, I do. But that's the type of guy he is. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, then.
He's a one at all cost guy. It doesn't matter.
It was just like, let's rock.
No, I think some of those people were hired by the Democrats to do it.
My grandma thinks some of those people were hired by the Democrats to do it.
They don't want Trump in office.
And I believe that. Hey, I have to eat dinner tonight, so I believe that too. So,
Gio, you got to say something on this podcast.
Manny, I believe you. It was those goddamn Democrats that were hot.
I thought it was Steve Bannon. Like he thinks he's above the law, and he's not.
Gio, what is that? I like your earring. Is that an earring?
What?
Is that an earring? Yeah. On the other side.
Your feather.
Gio, that's pretty. I like that.
Thank you.
Gio, you look very pretty, and it matches your glasses.
Thank you.
All right. Look at the guy in the Hawaiian guy was checking her out. Go back to Gio. Look, Hawaiian guy's checking her out in the background. Little Hawaiian boy. The Hawaiian shirt, not Hawaiian boy. I know he's white. God forbid he was Hawaiian. You can't call him Hawaiian boy. But yeah, so it was those goddamn Democrats that were hired.
It was Antifa.
No, I agree. I'm telling them right here on the podcast. I'm agreeing. Goddamn Democrats, they were hired to do that. Had nothing to do with that. It was all Democrats hired.
Sure. Gio, unmute yourself and comment.
She's going to her
I think we need to get Nanny on the podcast, no?
Oh my God, you guys hear? Oh, it would be funny. She'll hop on. No. Let her hop on for a second. She'd be hilarious.
Well, the next time Gio mutes, but Gio's got to contribute something here.
Did you not hear me? I've already said Steve Bannon.
No, I'm on my headphones. She probably wouldn't be able to hear you guys because they can barely hear you.
That's what I contribute today.
Is that an ice cream machine?
Yeah, it's the ice cream man walking.
Gio, have you seen where they have the corn? They dip the corn in that. I've never had that, like the street corn.
Yeah. The Mexican street corn. Yeah,
dude, I've never had that. I want to fucking have
I make it.
I won't fucking invite me over. I leave in 13 days.
All right, it ain't hard.
I'm not joking. Let's go.
Okay. I got some honey that makes you trip, so we could do that too.
I don't do any drugs. I just drink and I smoke cigarettes. That's it. No drugs
only
for me.
Only the bad things. Got it. All right.
The last time I smoked weed, I was in high school. It was my grandmother's 60th birthday, and I had to call 911 because I thought I swore to everybody I was having a heart attack.
Well, speaking of heart attacks and death, let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, a close.
Oh, totally fuck kids.
Well, that's true. But a close confidant is now saying that he may have been a spy.
Spy for who?
I'll say this.
Spy
This
for-
blew me away when I saw this.
A spy for who?
Well, speak on it then, Gio, while you're here talking.
Yeah, speak on it while you're waiting in line. The boys are checking you out over there with your little feather ring in your ear.
I'm getting interrupted, so I can't really, But I think this blew me away, and I could totally see this being true. And if it's true,
A spy for who though? Who's he
It's
spying
like-
on?
like, how can I argue that conspiracy theories aren't real?
Oh man, some of them are fucking fake as fuck, but some of them I do believe.
Well,
But-
considering how long he got away with his little private teen sex island, it wouldn't be out of the question to think that he was funneling or contributing information to the CIA. With his level of wealth,
I think. Oh, he had
and
connections for
influence.
sure. He had
Well,
connections.
he had billions of dollars. He had connections all over the world with high-ranking officials. It's not out of the question to think that the CIA might tap him to give them certain information or help them provide certain information to other foreign agencies.
All right, so my dad has this perfect theory with people like that where they get to a certain point. So I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. Everybody knows that. My claim to
Famously.
fame. Like 6 years ago. But Terry left now I just see the
No,
clip.
I'm still here, bud. I'm still
Are
here.
you leaving to the island?
No,
So you going to check out the island?
Gotta go
But,
get another beer or something.
You're getting another beer? All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, should I wait for Terry to come back?
no, I'm here, bud. Go ahead.
All right. So my dad has this theory. So Michael Irvin back in the day used to get in trouble with cocaine when he was with the Cowboys, and big cocaine guy. So I guess there was a 1990 something ESPN interview or whatever interview it was where Mike came out and said, he was like, yo, he goes, I walk into every restaurant in Dallas, Texas, everything's free because I'm Michael Irvin. I walk into a strip club, everything's for free for me because I'm Michael Irvin. Girls throw themselves at me because I'm Michael Irvin. So my dad made this analogy towards Michael Jackson, which I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I love him to death. And he goes, it gets to a point where you can get whatever you want. So now you try to get things that you can't get. And you get this weird fascination that, oh, now I need young girls, or now I need this, I need that. Those, like they didn't want his money. They didn't want anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm making sense here, what I'm saying.
You are. There's been stories about that in Hollywood too. About
do I think that? Yeah, it's sick.
About you get it. Yeah, you like people in Hollywood, like they could. That was even talked about when it came to Harvey Weinstein, how he could always get women and the highest, most beautiful women in the world. So eventually,
I can still hear you, by the way. I can still hear you. Keep going.
No, it became like a thing about how he could get all the highest end women in the world. So there was no challenge anymore. So then he started trying to turn straight young men because it felt like more of an accomplishment.
Exactly. So, which is sick. It's sick in a sense, dog. And I honestly don't believe. Yeah, no, obviously, I don't believe Mike. To be honest, I don't believe. I'm just such a fan, and maybe I'm brainwashed. I don't think Michael Jackson did anything wrong to a kid. I really don't. I just think because
kids.
I don't think he did. I really don't, man. Because Macaulay Culkin, like, if you're gonna fuck a kid, like, why don't you fuck the kid that's home alone all the time? And he never fucked Macaulay Culkin.
He's too high profile.
I don't believe that. But like, even R. Kelly, like it's the same thing with him. Like everything's given to you.
I'm with Jordan.
You're with me with this one. Thank you.
No, you both wrong.
I don't think. I think Mike was so abused as a kid by his father because Mike liked doing stupid shit by himself. Like if you watch that interview, I watched the whole thing. It was like I like to climb trees, and this is my riding tree. Like he wasn't mentally right to begin with, but I don't think he would ever harm a kid. I honestly,
I don't think he would harm a kid.
well,
but I
by
think he
fucking a
fucks
kid, you're harming a kid.
Well, he
But-
doesn't think that. He's just like, it's all love.
No,
baby. It's
I
all
don't think
love.
so. No,
All right.
R. Kelly, I believe he fucked those kids. Like, or not.
I
well,
will say this. I will say that he
but
fucked those
that's
kids,
it's shit
but
money
he
you
ain't
can't
right
buy.
in the
Yeah.
head either. I'll almost say it's
Michael
not-
Jackson
not-
totally mentally not right. But do I believe
totally.
they debunked his whole if you're still there. I remember they came out like, what was it, like Finding Neverland or some shit. They had that
right.
or Exposing Neverland on HBO, and it was debunked. Like these two fucking little liars, and they're like, they said they had sex in the train station, and he was like, "Oh, this was 1992," and they're like, "The train station wasn't built till like 1994 or 95." Like, no, like, and then the other one. So I don't believe in that. Like R. Kelly, yes, there's videos of him peeing on a girl. Like, and now these girls are coming out. Even when he was in prison, now he's going away. But like, I feel like Michael was such abused as a little boy, not sexually, just beaten so bad that he never had a childhood. You got to remember, Michael was on stage since he was 5.
Well,
so like,
think
about why I'm so fucked up. I was thrown on stage by 17, and if I didn't do a good set, my dad beat me with a belt. But I'm not out here fucking kids.
There is actually there's psychological protocol for when you have a traumatic incidents
I just
in
like
your
I
life.
laughed at my own joke. Go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, I keep getting calls here.
Oh, you're very popular.
There's
Is it the bowling alley league? Aren't you in a bowling team? I thought you were in a bowling team.
No, I can't bowl worth a shit. But there's a psychological protocol for when you have a traumatic incident, when you're in your childhood, that you get frozen in those moments. Like your development, your emotional development stops. So, and that's why some people, like you talk to a person that has, an overly high voice. That's a lot of the times when you see a woman with an overly high voice, it's because they got frozen in that time of their development and they stopped developing. And that's why they talk like that. And I think that part of that is like why he talked like that was because he talks like a 12-year-old boy, because in his brain, he still is a 12-year-old boy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think he fucked
that's
kids.
why he fucked them kids, but he didn't.
No, he didn't.
It's not his fault.
He wanted to be, dude, like my conspiracy
I don't
theory
think
on it.
12-year-olds are fucking Terry.
What?
Not even each other. Not at that
Okay.
age.
Well, no, maybe no. I know what you're saying. Like maybe he molested them or whatever, but I don't even think that. But with him, like he was stuck in that mindset. So like, why would you like? Oh, I climb trees. Like if you watch the documentary, like I really don't. Do I believe that he was actually sexually attracted to women? No. Absolutely not. I think like Terry's saying, I think he was stuck in that 12-year-old boy personality. That's why he wanted to do little kid shit. Like even in that documentary, they asked him, like, Michael, what's your favorite things to do? And he goes, well, number 1 is performing. And number 2, I like to have a water balloon fight. Like when I was 12, dude, like I loved having water balloon fights. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think he ever, I honestly don't believe that. I don't believe that. R. Kelly, yes, definitely. There's videos of it, and he's admitted to some of it.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson admitted to sleeping in beds with kids alone.
Yeah, but back to what you're saying, mindset of a 12-year-old. So it's a 12-year-old having a sleepover. That's it.
Yeah.
So
all right, nothing ever happened.
He was acquitted. He was acquitted.
I know he was acquitted.
He was acquitted. R. Kelly wasn't acquitted. They're both black men too.
All right,
Michael
let's get
towards
off
the end.
Pedophiles. Because the pedophiles just got off you. Heyo.
I wish.
So how long you been doing comedy, even though I know the answer to this?
What do you think? You guess.
13 years.
Yes, 13 years.
That's right. You started when you were 17, right?
The last year you could fucking count off because I really didn't do much. But yes, 13 years, yes.
Yeah, people say that all the time. They're like, "Oh, but you can't count 2020 because it's COVID." It was like I did 6 shows in 2020. But I don't know what y'all talking about, but
I did.
it doesn't change who you are. Okay, so let's skip right ahead then.
Michael Jackson fucked them kids.
That's right. What?
That's what you go.
What was your favorite venue? And you can't say an improv.
It's not an improv, to be honest with you. My favorite venue ever that
in South
Florida that really earned me my chops is where I saw myself grow as a comic. Was Aromas in Wellington. You had been there, and my dad would run their front door, and that was like the first place that I could call my baby. And like the owner to this day, like we had an opportunity to buy it, but we knew it was a loss just because the rent was so high and all that stuff. But it would be Aromas in Wellington, man. I loved that place, and we would get that place packed out, dude. Like I know you had been there when it would be really busy.
It was the first that Aromas in Wellington was the first place I ever got my first 20-minute set. It was my first feature set. My first feature set.
I'm happy I could give that to you. So.
Well,
I love that fucking place, man. That was definitely my baby. Another place, God rest his soul, man. Any place that Wayne put me on, like if it was an Eagles Lounge or a VFW or something like that, and Wayne would just let me have fun. That's where you really get to learn yourself too. But because those
Moose Lodge shows, the Eagles shows, the VFWs, those were always the best. They really were. No,
I think that's the first time I met. That's the first time I met you. I think Terry at one of those shows. Yes, it was. It really was.
I think I met you at Buddha the first time, but no, that was when we had that big time show. All the best people at that time in South Florida comedy were there. I know what you're talking about. It's the Eagles show with the video of us singing Piano Man at the end and all that jazz, getting drunk. And it was me and you and Bellick and John Hine and.
All right, yeah. So maybe I did meet you at the Buddha first, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's your proudest moment since you started comedy?
Proudest moment starting comedy. Get my first tour, dude. It was kind of cool. And I owe 2 people to this, but it was Ramon actually really started taking me on the road with this place called Funny Business. And that's kind of how I got in the job that I have now, moving to Michigan. And then Ramon was the coolest, where I was only supposed to do they would go, oh, let your feature do 15, 20. And Ramon would go up and be like, dude, just do 30. Have fun.
I'm back, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
we were right in the middle of it.
Middle of a conversation. We were in the middle of a conversation. Okay. Typical woman. Typical woman.
Want me to go away again?
No, stay. We're just listening.
But you got something to add.
She doesn't even know what we're talking about. My proudest moment in comedy. So my proudest moment in comedy was when Ramon started bringing me on the road, and then it started catching wind. Like, hey, this guy that features for Ramon, he's pretty funny. And then there's this lady named Renee Bray that had been around, not Renee Hart, Renee Bray. She'd been around since the 80s, like an old school comic. And she's like, this kid's funny. I want him to, feature for me for a New Year's Eve gig at Coco's, Cocoa Beach, Gregory's Upstairs Comedy Club. I think they're still around. I think they do 2 shows a night now. But she let me feature for her, did a great job, and she put in a good word for me. And then dude, I took a loss, but all of a sudden Funny Business just started hitting me up like crazy. And I started just getting out of Florida. You know what I mean? So it was all right, so we're gonna book you. And it was only as a feature at this point. People don't realize that. I wasn't headlining these rooms, but they were small, I'm not gonna call them shitholes. They were comedy clubs. They're B clubs, C clubs. But I was doing Minnesota, I was doing Wisconsin, Virginia, all that stuff. And I felt like I was a working comic for once. And when people come up to you and you're in a small city, and definitely in the Midwest, there's nothing much to do. and they treat you like you're like a celebrity and like, can I have your autograph? And I'm like, you want my fucking autograph? So it just like made me feel really good. So I'm like, man, this really has paid off, even though I'm losing my ass. Sorry, my grandma's phone keeps ringing. She can't hear for shit. But it just made me feel good. So that was probably my proudest moment, man, where I had like just a list where a whole summer, dude, I lost money. Thank God for my grandmother. That's my hero. She like literally fronted me the money to go. Like they'll put you up, but they won't. I just drove all over the place. And there were sometimes where I could,
that takes us into the next one, which is what's been your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge is just writing. I need to write more jokes, man. I got too comfortable just getting on stage and doing crowd work. Because I
believe several of us have mentioned this to you over the years.
Yeah, man, I know I'm really good at it. Like, so I am really good at it. I don't care what anybody says. So I know I'm really good at crowd work.
Nobody can deny you're good at it. You're definitely good at crowd work.
I just have to get up there and write more jokes. But like, I've had so much, I hit this like really weird wall. I'm not gonna lie with you guys, with like depression and just like sadness and turning 30 and living with my grandmother and getting called names from family members and certain things like that, and not being able to, you know, pay for groceries or not being able to fill up my gas tank. That I got into like my own, what?
I was just gonna say, do you think that just starting so young has posed a challenge?
It definitely has with other clubs. I can tell you that. Like, there's Renee, like to this day, will like still consider me, like she considers me like her son, which I don't like that. Like, I'm a full grown man now. So like when Renee will talk to me, she doesn't talk to me like, we're friends, don't get me wrong, but like everybody thinks we're like super tight. We're not super tight like that. Like, I can't text Renee and be like, oh, I'm coming over to dinner. It's like, no, why the fuck are you texting me? But Renee still looks at me as a little boy. And I did, man, like, there's a lot of times where I partied way too hard. But the biggest challenge is, I don't know, that's hard, man. It's just putting so many years in and not seeing the
fruit on that tree.
Yeah, but there has been, man. It's just like, well, that's comedy. There's highs and lows. So, but it's cool. It definitely is cool, but it definitely gets to you. It gets to you a lot, man. Like, family dinners over here, they're not that great.
Well, just remember, it's always going to be like that. It's always an uphill climb until it isn't. So, but you're moving. You're going to Michigan. You got a steady gig with the club there. So from what you told me, you're getting out on your own. You're going to spread your wings a little bit. And that's great. But are you ready to play the blame game, sir?
Play the blame game, but I saw something where Gio just popped up. I guess she's not going to be on there anymore. She had to give her phone up.
That's fine. We were doing fine without her. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So I blame Gio.
Guys, I need a hard stop at 8 because I have to give up my phone and I started the meeting.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, then turn your phone off. Me and Terry.
We're gonna do it real quick then. Here. All right. Blame game for Jordan. You don't sleep in beds. Who's to blame?
That's me, man. I just don't like it. I found that out when I moved out with Danielle, your ex-wife.
That's Danielle Love. Yeah.
No, never mind. You know what I'm saying. My old girlfriend, Danielle, we moved out together, and a whole bunch of people, they were super cool. They gave us free furniture, and it was some old lady that died, and like her shit was like from the 70s. So we got this big king size mattress, and then this like 1970s like sectional that was like super, super cool and comfortable. So like if you laid on this mattress, it was kind of like the Flintstones, like you could have like just laid on concrete. So I just enjoyed sleeping on the couch and playing Xbox, because I'm a big love playing Madden online on Xbox, excuse me. And I would just pass out. And then ever since then, I've fallen asleep on couches. I can take
Typical
you in my room
man
right
shit.
now.
No, I hear you. It's
Yeah.
typical man shit. It's
I don't
fine.
know. I think if I ever get a wife, yeah, eventually I'll have to get a couch, but nah.
All right, we're gonna speed up here real quick just because Gio's got a hard out at 8, which I think she just likes saying, by the way. Real quick, just before we go here, Friday, August 5th, the roast of Jordan Garnett, Swampgrass Willie's, 8 o'clock. I will be there. Gio will be there. Bunch of people will be there. It's going to be fun. I personally have been roasted at Swampgrass Willie's. It was fucking hilarious. The crowd's completely into it. Everybody's down. Definitely show up August 5th to see Jordan get his ass handed to him before he goes up to the white north. Real quick words for white people this week. Believe in yourself. That's it. Just believe in yourself. I started a restaurant that got me a little notoriety. I wasn't even 30 years old yet, but I bought it. I spent every dime I had remodeling it. And then once I did it, I go, oh shit, I better learn how to cook because I've never made a pizza before in my life. And I just believed that I could do it. I saw potential in the place. So that's all I did. I said, I'm going for it. I don't know how to do this, but I'll learn along the way. And fuck if I did.
And it was successful. And I know it was successful.
If I can take that chance and put every dime I've got into it, just believing in myself, then you can do it too. Whatever you want to do, stop worrying about it. Take your chances. Life is short. Even when you're 30, even when you're 40, even when you're 20, take your fucking chances and just try to live happy. That's it.
No, exactly.
And that's the words for white people. I want to thank our guest, Jordan Garnett, for being with us.
Thank you guys. Love you guys. I had a blast.
I want to not thank Giovanni Neal for barely being
not very present.
No,
not
I told her, I told her, I said, you're going to be in Austin. Let's skip it. She's like, no, I'm going to live stream from the Kill Tony. And I was like, this is going to be a nightmare. And here we are. So
it's usually,
once again, the white man is proven correct.
Yeah. It's usually the typical black dads that aren't present, not the moms, but thanks, Gio. Wow. Way to fuck this up.
I don't think.
Good night. My name's Jordan Garnett. Bye.
Thank you, Jordan. Guys, we'll see you next week right here, 7 p.m. on Facebook with the Blamegirl podcast.